Let's talk about this new song royalties exchange because I was really interested to hear about this.
All right. So I was in Michigan a few weeks ago, and I was meeting with some friends, and they were talking about IPOing their music, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they were like initial public offerings for music, and I was like, "So you're selling your music on the Nasdaq or the New York Stock Exchange, the Nikkei? Like, what are you talking about?" And they didn't really quite understand it fully, or at least they couldn't explain it to me at that point. So I kind of just started to do my own research, and I found out like there's this company called Songvest that was formed in March 18th, 2021. And what they do is they get the royalty rights to a song, and then they take that and they're able to sell it to investors and fans who can now own parts of their favorite songs. So
Really cool.
instead of it just being like a company that sells shares and owns things privately and you buy shares of pieces of their separate companies or anything, it's legit security exchange, US Security Exchange Commission's certified company. So this is the first royalties exchange. Now they base their money, or they base the royalties on like an auction. So they do this first step where they'll auction off your rights to ownership. So with music, you can be a producer, you can be a publisher, you can be a writer, you can be an artist, right? And each one of those persons or individuals, businesses is going to own certain pieces of that song.
Right.
And so the
As
artist,
performance rights as well as for the writing of the song.
right? Yeah, and the streaming rights too. So it's like usually the streaming rights are split between everybody. Sometimes the artists write their own music and produce their own music, and there are the Chris Stapletons and the David Lees and the different artists, the Eminems of the world that write, produce, and create their own music, right? So that's, and Kanye West is another one too. But so what these guys did is they'll take a song, say you want to auction off your song, and they'll put it up for an auction, see what the units or shares that they can sell, and then they'll determine if that they should do a public offering for your music. Otherwise, they just do like this auction thing. Now, they pay you every quarter based on the revenue from the royalties and the shares that you own. So if you have a song, I don't know, just to make something up, if you got a happy birthday song that's done by Elmo, and whoever produced it's got 20% shares, and they decided to sell it on Songvest. Now, me and you, Ben, we can go buy a unit or as many units as they offer, how much we want to spend. And then every quarter, it's going to say Elmo's happy birthday song produced this amount of revenue on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, Amazon, and we're going to get a breakout check based on the shares that we own.
So it's about cash flow, right?
Yeah.
You get cash flow. That's awesome. Because there's a lot of these sites now that are similar to this. So you've got Masterworks, which lets you do a similar thing with like paintings that cost millions of dollars, right? You can buy like Banksy's and Van Goghs and whatever on Masterworks, fractional shares of paintings that cost several million. There's another one it's kind of interesting called Vinovest, which lets you invest in wine, and they store your wine for you, and then they curate it, and they when the bottles mature, they sell it. So this is Masterworks, and they basically, but Masterworks, you don't get cash flow. You only get paid when they sell it. And they've had some pretty impressive exits where they've got like 30-40%, selling a painting on the market. But yeah, you don't get cash flow every quarter. So this Songvest is pretty interesting, because if you invest in a big song,
Yeah, well, you invest in a hit song or 20%. Like they just had Nas's Affirmative Action, which is a song that was really popular. They had like the writer's share or something auctioned off. So you could have bought a piece of that. And they've got all kinds of different artists. And the thing
this is Vinovest and Whiskey Vest. So yeah, you can invest in wines and whiskeys. The guys in Tennessee would love this, actually.
Yeah, right. This would go great in Nashville. So But the thing that stuck out to me about Songvest is that their security exchange. They're governed by the SEC,
Wow.
which is like all this other stuff is like, to me, this the wine and whiskey, it's like almost like crypto, right? It's like here nor there. Who knows how it's gonna really work out? Like, but if you know if it's SEC governed, these guys can't play games. They'll get shut down.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
so the only thing that I was thinking about, and I haven't seen anything, but if I want to sell my shares on the open market, um, then you start to see the price fluctuations go up and down based upon who holds, how long they hold their shares, and now you start to get like that dividend effect plus the shareholding effect. I mean, the
Yeah,
song
the same as
could
stocks, isn't it?
yeah, it
Uh,
would turn into a stock, and it
Growth plus
would.
dividend. And what if you hold it for a year? Do you get short-term capital gains on it? I guess, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. It's a part of the SEC.
Long-term, sorry, long-term capital gains. That's
Long-term
what I meant.
capital gains. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I would assume so. Yeah, but it's really interesting. They can actually they do this auction part where it determines how much the song could potentially be worth, and then they don't even have to do that. They can use their internal team to determine its worth, and then launch it. And once the shares are purchased, they'll distribute the royalties to the shareholders quarterly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool that it's an actual exchange and not just like, hey, we're gonna invest in this random artwork and hope it gets sold, or some NFT stuff, or some crypto stuff.
Remember NFTs? I don't hear anything about NFTs anymore.
Yeah.
I think AI took over from NFTs. NFTs
Oh,
were like
no.
the hot thing for like a year, and then now it's AI.
Yes,
Yeah.
the ape NFTs took off, man. Whoever was on top of that was killing it.
Well, except for the people who bought them at the top of the market and lost like 90%.
Yeah, that's painful. I
Pretty
didn't
big
believe-
names lost a lot of money, although they have bragging rights now. But you know,
I don't really. I didn't get involved with NFTs at all. I didn't buy one or do anything.
I had a little bit of fun with a few, but I never sold any. And some of mine went up in value. Like I bought this NFT for like $50 or $100, and it went up to like $800. But I never sold any of it, so I don't know. It was just a little bit of fun. I had one friend who was really into it. This guy out in Vegas, and he was making a lot of money on it, but I think he wasn't really selling them. He was just holding them, and I think in the end he did lose a lot as well.
Yeah, I got
So-
burned. I'm gonna probably. I opened a Songvest account.
There we go. Board
and
Ape
then-
Yacht Club.
Yeah, this is the one that actually had some staying power. The Board Ape Yacht Club. There's still substantial worth there for those. But I think for Songvest, I'm going to turn around and probably do it a little bit, and we can revisit it later and see what kind of returns I get on the shares for the music. The shares are like $100.
Okay.
And there'll only be like 250 shares or 350 units. They call them units. I'm sure that has to do with the SEC,
Right. Yeah.
and how it's organized.
Approved language.
Yeah, exactly.
Compliance.
So, and then I wonder if I own the share, can I resell the share? That's what I was really trying to figure out, and I couldn't get to the bottom of it. But
Well, even if it's an exchange, in theory you can, but you need to hope that there's enough liquidity on the market to be able to, enough
exactly,
demand.
right, and that's it's only started in 2021. I'm pretty sure they only moved forward recently, but you could go to like past sales, and it's mainly a hip hop community, I noticed, but I don't think anybody else in the music industry even knows it exists.
Right.
So
Oh, nice.
yeah, right. That's what I was talking about. Affirmative action song, like it's a famous song, Beyonce. So, it's interesting, to think about. I'm gonna explore it and see what it has to offer, and then, go from there.